Hello everybody, hope you're all having a good day. And today we're looking at the 10 greatest Spider-Man sets of all time. Now this will be my personal opinion, so I'm sure there'll be some controversial decisions on this list. And to keep this focused on Spider-Man, I'm going to avoid any sets which happen to include him. So for example, the Sanctum Sanctorum, I'd say it's more of a Doctor Strange set, and the original one is more of an Avengers set. However, this list will include sets released back in 2003 for the original Sam Raimi movies. So we have over 20 years of Spider-Man sets to break down. So let's begin with number 10. In 10th place, we have a Far From Home set. We have the Hydro Man Attack. So this set was based on the second Tom Holland film that came out in 2019. This was my personal favorite set from that movie. It was a phenomenal price for the amount of pieces you get. You get a really small, great build of Venice with a canal build, a bridge, and then a small cafe. And you also get a really nice little gondola. So this is one of the sets which I think it looks great in the context of it being based on the movie, as well as in general. It's a really great small pot of Venice build. So even if you want to take out all the Spider-Man stuff, it's still actually a really nice looking set. We also got our first Peter Parker since the original Sam Raimi movies. I love the torso print showing some of these Spider-Man suit underneath. As well as we got our first ever Mysterio, who although isn't accurate to the movie, he's slightly more accurate towards the comics. It's still a great minifigure. And we got our first and only Hydra Man, who's a really cool looking minifig. So it's a really cool build, regardless of whether you like the movie or not. And it was a fantastic price for some really cool minifigures. And coming in 9th place, we have one of the oldest sets on the list, and that is Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin. So this is based on the original movie and came out all the way back in 2003. So over 22 years old. And this is based on the scene on the end of the movie where Goblin captures the cable car and Mary Jane. So for builds, we get a really great bridge build. We get a working cable car, which is a really cool feature. We get a taxi and a taxi driver, and then a glider for the Green Goblin. So this is a really cool location build. I love it when Marvel sets are based around a building or a bridge in this case, rather than being like a weird Spider-Man vehicle. We also get 4 great minifigures. We get the original Spider-Man, the first one ever made, which is a really great minifigure. The silver web design is really great. We also get Green Goblin, who to this day I still think is one of the best Marvel minifigures. It had a brand new cowl mold, which is pretty much perfect. We get Mary Jane, and then we get a taxi driver. So a really great playset and super accurate to the movie. Coming in 8th place, we have another original Spider-Man movie wave set. We have Spider-Man's First Chase. Once again releasing in 2003 and based on the first movie. And this is a crazy scene to base a set on, as it's basically Peter Parker hunting down Uncle Ben's killer. We get 2 car builds, one being a police car, and one being the getaway car for the murderer or thief, and then a small gate build. So this set was a really good price, and we get 3 minifigures. We get Spider-Man in his wrestler outfit, which is one of the rarest and most expensive Spider-Man minifigures. It has really great printing to it, and it's a minifigure that I would love to own. We also get a criminal and then a police officer. So a really great cheap set with a really cool exclusive Spider-Man. I would love to see this set remade one day. And coming in 7th place, we have the Spider-Man Daily Bugle Showdown. So this is from 2013, so 12 years ago. And this was the first ever Daily Bugle made. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love this set. I thought the Daily Bugle was like the coolest build ever. But now looking back and comparing it with the new one, it's crazy how small and undetailed it is. But it's still a really nice build, especially for the price and the number of pieces. The interior is lacking a little bit, but has some fun little details in there, like J. Jonah Jameson's office and then the Spider-Man board where they're trying to figure out his identity. And we also get a jet for Doctor Doom. Now where this set shines the most is the minifigures. We get 5 of them, one being the standard Spider-Man. Then we got our first J. Jonah Jameson since the second movie with J.K. Simmons. And then we get 3 exclusive minifigures. And to this day, none of these minifigures have actually been remade, which is kind of impressive. We got our first and only ever Nova, who had a brand new helmet mold, and he was a great minifigure. We got our first and only Beetle, who isn't one of Spider-Man's most well-known villains, and he's also a really great looking minifigure, has some really good printing. But unfortunately he uses the brittle bread plastic from ages ago, so mine is cracked in a few places. But finally we get Doctor Doom, who's his first and only appearance, which is crazy as he's one of Marvel's most popular and famous villains. But I'm sure with the release of Doomsday next year, we're going to see an MCU one, and then probably a tie-in comic one at some point. I'd love a full set based on the Fantastic Four with Doctor Doom included. He's a really great minifigure, a really cool face, torso, and leg print. So another great set. There's a really good price per pot ratio. The Bugle build is very simple, but for the number of pieces, it's still a lot of fun and looks decent enough. And then we get 3 amazing and exclusive minifigures. Alright, coming in 6th place, we have another Marvel superhero set. We have Spider-Man Ghost Rider Team Up. The set released back in 2016. And for builds, we get a traffic light build with some newspaper stands, a really great bike for Ghost Rider, and then a small glider for the Hobgoblin. Now this was an amazing price of only £20. And as a massive Ghost Rider fan, this set made me so happy when it released. He was a character I wasn't sure we were going to get in LEGO, because he can be quite adult. And his minifigure is amazing. The flaming hairpiece mold looks incredible and he has a really cool torso print. But since then we have actually seen Robbie Reyes in a set, as well as a new Johnny Blaze. The set also came with Hobgoblin, who I think is one of the coolest Marvel villain minifigures ever made. He has an amazing face print, a great torso print, a really cool ripped cape, as well as dual molded legs. He's one of my personal favorite minifigures from the Marvel theme. And then we get the standard Spider-Man. So this set was really just a fantastic price with 2 amazing minifigures and a really fun build. And as a massive Ghost Rider fan, I just adore this set. Coming in 5th place, we have our first Spider-Man 2 set, and that is Spider-Man's Train Rescue. Now this set came out in 2004, so 21 years ago, which is still crazy to me. It feels like yesterday I was a kid watching these films. Now it is rumored that this set is going to get a remake this year, which is pretty cool, but the original set is still really great. So this is probably one of the most iconic scenes from Spider-Man 2 and superhero movies in general. Not only is the fight great, but also Spider-Man saving the train cart. Although it has been memed to death, it's still a really great scene. So the build for this, we just get a small little carriage build for one of the trains, a small little track build, as well as a web block at the end for Spider-Man to stop the train. So a very simple build, but still looks really good and was a really good price. The set contains 4 minifigures. We get J. Jonah Jameson, who looks amazing. Then we get Movie Doc Ock, who has a really great face and torso print. And he has the iconic bald haircut, which he has in the comics, but I think his hair was really a bowl cut in the second film. But still a really great and iconic minifigure. And I'm hoping the remake one looks kind of similar and they don't just reuse the No Way Home one. And we also got a new Spider-Man minifigure who uses a darker blue color and looks a lot more accurate to the movie. And he has really great printing. Definitely one of my favorite Spider-Man minifigures. So a really great set based on an iconic scene. You get the 2 main characters of the movie, Doc Ock and Spider-Man, for a reasonable price. Coming in 4th place, we have the only Spider-Man 1 set that I owned as a kid. We have Spider-Man and Green Goblin, The Origins. The set released back in 2003 based on the original movie. And it's a really cool concept for a set. It's based on Oscorp where Spider-Man gets bit by the spider and Norman Osborn transforms himself into the Green Goblin. So we get to see when Peter and his class are on the field trip and there's all the different spiders in the cages. And he's taking a picture of MJ before he gets bitten by the spider, which is a really simple build. There's nothing much going on to it, but it still looks really good, especially for 22 years ago. And the second build is the Oscorp Lab, which has some different machine builds and a computer. Then a massive transformation chamber, which you can put Norman Osborn on one side, twist it around, and out pops the Green Goblin, which is a really fun little play feature. So a really cool concept for a set, and all the builds look really good. And then we get a bunch of great minifigures. The Spider-Man and the Green Goblin are the same as in the final battle set. We get Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker, who's a really nice and simple minifigure. Then we get Mary Jane, who's a little bit cursed in the face. Then we get shirtless Willem Dafoe, Norman Osborn, who's a really fun minifigure. So you pretty much get all the main characters in this set with Spider-Man and Green Goblin and Mary Jane. But I also love the addition of Peter Parker and Norman Osborn. So another really great set, really good price with some really great minifigures. And coming in 3rd place, we have Spider-Man Final Battle. So this is the most recent set on the list. It came out in 2023 and is based on Spider-Man No Way Home. This was also the first Marvel diorama that we ever got, and to this day I still think this is the best one ever made. The Statue of Liberty head is a really fantastic build, as well as I love all these scaffolding around. There's a lot of posability as well as play options in this diorama, which is really fun to see. So it makes for a really cool display piece. But my favorite thing about this set has to be the minifigures. We of course got Tom Holland's Spider-Man minifigure, and although I don't love his suit in the film, it's still a really great minifigure. But we got for the first time in 21 years, was it? We got a Tobey Maguire minifigure, who looks incredible. The printing on the face and torso look great, as well as he has dual molding legs. And it was so great and nostalgic to see this minifigure made once again. Then we also got the amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, who once again, amazing face and torso print with dual model legs. And the only other option to get Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was to get a Comic-Con exclusive, which is worth like £7,000. So not only does this minifigure look better, it's also significantly cheaper. So it was just super exciting to see all 3 Spider-Man minifigures made and in one set together. Then we also got our first Willem Dafoe Green Goblin in 20 years, who has an amazing face print, which is super accurate and a great torso print. Unfortunately, no leg printing. Then we also got Doc Ock again, who has, once again, he has a really great face print and torso, as well as leg printing. But unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of his hairpiece. But I love how he uses the original mechanical arm. Then we get Electro. I love the lightning making his mask. It's a really cool detail in the movie and in the minifigure. And a cool torso print. So 6 really great minifigures. Then we also do get Ned and MJ, who are kind of like made out of reused parts, but still 2 nice minifigures. And then we get a really great Doctor Strange. And unfortunately, his torso is inaccurate, as it's based on the wrong movie. So this is just a really fantastic set. Coming in 2nd place, we have Spider-Man Web Warriors Ultimate Bridge Battle. So the set came out in 2016. So of course the build for this set is a massive bridge. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the Brooklyn Bridge or the Manhattan Bridge, but bridges are really iconic in Marvel because most of the superheroes operate in New York, and especially Spider-Man, for better or for worse with Spider-Man's case. So it makes for a really great set idea, and it's just such an impressive build. It's a really great size and super detailed. It's over 44 centimeters long, and is a great addition to any Marvel collection, especially alongside the modulars. It's perfect for a New York build. It's also packed full of different little Easter eggs and references, as well as lots of different play features. So the side of the bridge can actually collapse, and the taxi can fall off, and you have to save it as Spider-Man. There's also a hidden hideout for Kraven while he's tracking Spider-Man. There's some different hidden cameras, and there's some different hidden treasures around the place. And you can also knock down these signs there. So lots of fun play features around the build. As well as on the side of the bridge, there's different pegs which you can put your different wall crawlers on. And then in terms of minifigures, they're all pretty much great. We get the standard Spider-Man, so nothing too special, but still a nice minifigure. We got our first and only Kraven the Hunter, who has an amazing torso and really cool leg printing. But unfortunately, the face print is reused, so it doesn't look super accurate to how Kraven should look. We also got our first ever Scorpion, I believe. We came with a brand new tail mold and just a great minifigure overall. We got Spider-Girl, who's a really cool minifigure, extremely red but looks really cool. Then we got Scarlet Spider, who I think still is exclusive to this set. I don't know if they've remade him at all. He has a great torso print with arm printing for the web shooters and a really cool face print. And then finally we have the Green Goblin, who is my favorite villain minifigure from any Marvel set. He has an amazing face print. It reminds me so much of the old 90s cartoon, as well as the early comics. He has a great torso print with arm printing, as well as leg printing and jaw molding. He's such an impressive minifigure. So another fantastic set. It was a really great price. You get a bunch of amazing minifigures. It's an amazing build, as well as having lots of different play features. I would love to see this set remade. And finally, coming in first place, what I think is the greatest Spider-Man set of all time. To no one's surprise, it has to be the Venom Saurus Ambush. So this set released back in 2020, and it contains Venom as a massive T-Rex. No, I'm just kidding. Number one, of course, it is the Daily Bugle. This is by far and away the ultimate Spider-Man set. So this set released back in 2021. I can't believe it's been 4 years since then, it's crazy. And was the first Marvel modular. So although this set is definitely really expensive, I think it's absolutely worth it. It is a massive build, it's 82 centimeters tall. It looks really great from the exterior. We get a really cool television screen on the bottom floors. We get the escape ladders on the right hand side. And the red color really helps make the build pop more. It looks a lot less generic. But my favorite part about the exterior is definitely the Daily Bugle logo at the top. It's a really impressive build and kind of brings it all together. We also get a small taxi build, a newsstand, and then a small Sandman build. But I think the best part about this build is the interiors. At the top we get J. Jonah Jameson's office. Then below we get Peter Parker's room, which is a recreation of the meme. Then we get the newsroom with all the different news reporters there, which has all the different screens around and computer and desk builds. There's so much attention to detail on the interior, so many different references and little Easter eggs. And we also do get the lobby at the bottom there, which is probably the least interesting of all the rooms. And finally, this set has one of the craziest minifigure selections of all time. It has 25 minifigures. So now a lot of these are actually reuses, but at the time I stopped collecting Spider-Man sets for a while because they kept repeating like the same minifigures over and over again, as well as the builds were getting worse and worse. So a lot of these villains was your first time getting these variants of them. We got Goblin, Doc Ock, Venom, Carnage, Sandman, and a Mysterio. Then we got some amazing new minifigures like Daredevil, who's my personal favorite Marvel character, Punisher, and Blade, who I never thought we'd ever see in Lego form because they're quite adult characters. Both great minifigures. We also got our first and only Black Cat. Then of course we had to get J. Jonah Jameson, and a lot of the Bugle office workers. And they're pretty much made by reused parts from different minifigures pulled together. They really add to the build, especially the interior with all the workers down there in the newsroom. It's an absolutely crazy selection of 25 minifigures, including some amazing minifigures like Daredevil, Blade, and Punisher, as well as Black Cat. The build is fantastic from the outside to the inside. One of the funnest Marvel builds you'll ever have. And once it's made, it is the most ultimate Spider-Man set you could ever have. It's by far and away my favorite Marvel set, and definitely my favorite Spider-Man set. And that will do for my top 10 greatest Spider-Man sets of all time. Let me know which are your favorites, which are your favorite minifigures from Spider-Man sets, as well as what do you think of this list. As always, I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing week. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.